These are the instructions for preparing central tube fiber optic cable for termination. Begin by wrapping tape around the end of the cable to prevent accidental damage and gel leakage. Place 2 pieces of tape on the cable jacket about 6 inches or 15 centimeters apart, approximately 1 meter or 40 inches from the end of the cable. Using a rotary cutting tool, make a rotary cut at each marker tape. The length of jacket to be stripped will depend on the termination unit being used. The central core cable has 2 steel strength members, one on each side. To strip the jacket, begin by cutting through the jacket and running the blade along a strength member. Be sure to expose the steel strength members the full length of the marked area, right up to the ends. The jacket now needs to be removed and must be pulled from the waist end of the cable. The metallic inner coating must not be damaged or deformed during this process. Using a pair of parrot nose pliers, cut the strength members to a length of 15 millimeters or half an inch. This is where the earthing clamp will be fitted, so be sure not to damage the inner metal jacket at this point, as that would impede installation of the earthing clamp. Cut off the remaining strength members and ripcords. Looking at the metallic inner jacket, identify the seam. Run a flat blade screwdriver along the seam toward the good end of the cable. Use a knife to make a cut into the foil at the end of the strength members and along the cable. Carefully unwind the foil from around the inner tube and cut it off. Cut the inner ripcords. The cable must be earthed, as it contains a continuous metallic sheath. The 12A1 clamp should be installed for this purpose, and comes with 2 different size clamps for smaller and larger cable diameters. Clean the metallic coating with a knife to ensure a good bond. Push the bonding lug over the metallic sheath and under the strength members. Insert the earthing wire under the nut and tighten. Trim the excess. Measure about 7 centimeters or 3 inches from the lug along the exposed core tube and mark with a pin. Using a rotary cutter, make a single cut. Bend the tube until it breaks. Then, using a cloth, continually wipe off the gel while removing the jacket, thus exposing the fibers. Once the jacket is removed, you will see that the fiber units are identified by lengths of colored string. Separate the units. Identify each unit by tying a piece of colored string around each one. There are only 2 units in this cable, so only one needs to be identified. A splitter kit and a tube of B sealant are also required to complete the termination of the cable. Using the syringe, insert about 25 millimeters or an inch of sealant. The splitter kit has 3 parts: the splitter, the core tube, and the lid. Begin by injecting B sealant into the open end of the core tube. Then push the clear flexible tube over the fibers. Next, place the core tube over the rear of the splitter. Push the clear flexible tube over the neck of the splitter. Route the fiber units into any of the channels on the splitter and insert B sealant into the channel. Install the lid. Finally, place a short length of 3 millimeter tubing over each finger to protect the fibers as they run into their containment units. The tubing should be pushed completely over the fingers, butting up against the splitter. The fibers are now ready for splicing or connectorization. Remember, connectorization will require 900 millimeter sleeving to be placed over each fiber.